Oh, wow.
You're
Oh,
live.
that blue box. Hello, Charlotte and Kara, you're here, and maybe other people are joining in via YouTube. This is the Peeragogy Accelerator, what would it be, third week by now?
That's right.
Um, so I realized that we were a little bit off schedule because last week, well, we did take our notes, we kind of previewed this week's homework. So in some sense, we're ahead because we previewed the homework for this week. The other thing is maybe we're a little bit behind because we didn't come up with any new patterns. We took some great notes. So basically that means that I think today is going to be a free-for-all session. So we have Kara, who's here for the first time, but not quite the first time because we've seen her through Charlotte's camera on and off. Do you want to introduce yourself to the Peeragogy universe who may be tuning in?
Hi, I'm Kara. I intern with Charlotte, Charlotte Pierce of Pierce Press in IPNE. I don't know what else there is to say about me.
Where do you go to school, Kara?
I go to school at Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont. I'm majoring in professional writing, and hopefully I'll learn a lot from this. Like how to introduce myself.
Well,
Cool.
I just described you to David Godine as a firecracker who is truly dedicated to publishing, a self-starter, and a pleasure to have in my office. So
I try to be all
I
those
really
things.
I wish. Well, I thought maybe you could, meet up with him before you go to Ireland. So that'd be cool. So anyway,
That would be cool.
so Kara has been actually is going to get editor credit on my new edition of the Day Tripper Greater Boston edition because she's been moving it into onto Google Maps and did a whole complete edit and formatting, simplified it, the formatting for ebook preparation for ebook.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
yes, you're right there at the cutting edge of publishing is happening down there in Charlotte's basement, pretty much day in and day out. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the publishing accelerator down here. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would put a comment on your doc. I don't know if Charlie will allow last minute changes, but this is this pad in PeerPubU. I put a couple comments at the bottom. One was, you remember how when we were talking with the flock people, or talking about their thing, which we successfully got our stuff uploaded there. Paula, I think, and George, I don't know who gets the credit, but as one of those two came up with the idea of a handbook series, and I was thinking, well, why not have Pierce Press be the publisher for the entire handbook series? You've done well with one handbook. Can you juggle many handbooks? Perhaps with Kara, you have many hands.
One handbook.
Maybe the
Well,
Boston handbook or something. So it's an interesting challenge. So that was one thing, and then I read another blog post. I stuck as a comment in your doc here at the bottom, the 7 habits of highly ineffective people, which I thought suited my mood when I was reading it. But it focuses on self-publishing, so I thought maybe you could use this as propaganda.
So this is
should hire you as self-publish.
Is it in this second IPNE and PeerPubU? Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the bottom as a comment.
Are you getting the chat, Kara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like, yep. Okay, so I don't know. We don't need to go through it now, but it's the one I was a little concerned. Spend lots of time on the internet instead of working. Facebook, Twitter, and dumbass blogs like this one, chat forums, chat group forums, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So I'm a little concerned because a lot of stuff we do is online. That was point number 1. Anyway, the other ones are all fun to read and maybe respond to. So I don't know. Not a must that it needs to go into your
I mean, the cool thing about PeerPubU and which is kind of our name for the collaborative effort that we're trying to get underway with Independent Publishers of New England, which I'm one of the co-presidents. The cool thing is that we do have real life opportunities for people to connect, and once a month we have a coffee hour or a speaker meeting. I'm going to mute Kara just for a second, and they'll extend it. Maybe it was you, Joe. I don't know. Anyway, we have these monthly opportunities to get together, and we also do field trips to like printing plants and technology places. We're going to go to the Innovation Center in Cambridge in a couple months. So that gives it a lot of vitality. I mean, I think a lot of the members of IPNE, the Metro Boston group, especially, or just the members of IPNE, really don't have a clue that this PeerPubU, this peer effort is being mounted on their behalf. I haven't really figured out how to present it, how to market it to the membership. And I'm thinking it might have to be kind of just a oblique project that becomes then more consciously or mindfully peeragogical. Does that make sense?
Well, I think that sounds like a good theme for discussion. I would say marketing sounds good, especially according to this russellblake.com. He says, if you want to sell few to no books, ensure that no one knows they're available.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Hello, Charlie. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. I liked your article, or well, not article, the summary. That was like super.
Thank you.
It was a model essay for Accelerator.
We need to turn on our lower thirds, dudes.
Oh yeah. I don't have the box. Where's my box?
Because of posterity.
Right, posterity.
And the millions of people who are watching us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I got that now. I have something here. If you want, I can introduce what I did.
Yeah, please.
Let's see. Let me try to introduce it properly.
And Charlotte had already done hers.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. This Kara's my intern, Charlie, and she's
Kara.
She's upstairs because of the reverb. She would be in here.
All right.
So
you're very familiar with Charlotte snapping her fingers at people and getting things done, then, like she just did with us in the lower thirds.
Yeah, she did already. She got Kara to go into a quiet, safe room with headphones so that there would be no background noise. That's perfect.
That's it.
I'm afraid my style is a little bit too confrontational for Charlie.
I need to be wooed very, very.
Gently, yeah.
Very gently.
I think you two are
very,
practically
very sensitive.
You're practically twins because you're both wearing blue shirts today.
And
So
Charlie and Charlotte and Charlie.
That's all.
Yeah.
Cha-cha, or I guess.
Yes.
Well, nice to meet you, Kara.
Nice to meet you too.
All right.
Kara,
Thank you.
Okay. So you guys want to? You should, Charlotte, if you're filming, you should point your camera over at this screen share if you could.
it's on. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if I can publish this, Charlie, into your zine, because although I wrote it, basically all these items are copied from someone else, but it is exciting news. So there's a professor called.
Is there a link real quick? We can also see this.
Yes, yes. I will get it to you.
Tell us what the heck it is. What?
Yes, I will try to do all of those.
Oh my
things
God!
properly.
At the same time, please.
Yes. Okay, so I'll start by telling you what it is, and then I'll give you a link.
I'm confused.
Okay, there's the link. Okay, so it's not particularly expository. Maybe the background down here would be the best place to start. So this site is being created as a response to a forthcoming article and recent report from Jim Pittman and collaborators about an open digital mathematics library. So Jim Pittman's a statistics professor at UC Berkeley, who I've known for some years because he's been a friend of Planet Math. And this is cool because it's kind of like one level of abstraction up. So like Planet Math can just be an example. It doesn't have to be the center. And Jim identified these like 10, 12 things up above of things that we could work on that would be relevant for building a digital library of mathematics. And it's kind of neat to think about like a huge project to build a gigantic mathematics digital library, because each person could do one small piece. So this is kind of the handbook model. Break it up, find an outline. Maybe some people will do different overlapping bits, like, you know, someone might pick those 3 parts and do a project about that. So I thought that was good to try to partner up with Jim. And the other cool thing is he has some money, so he can pay me. And the other exciting thing is that my sister Madeline may actually be able to join in this Hangout if I can get her on now. Maybe she won't be able to join this time, but
You want
anyway.
to work on that while Charlie's talking about.
I can. She may be a little busy, but she might make an appearance. So the main point is, like Kara, she's a. Kara, did you say you're a rising senior?
Junior.
Rising junior. Okay, almost like Kara, she is a rising senior, and in information science, and so her skills and mine are kind of complementary, and so I think she may be kind of Jim's intern working with me, which would be a really fun way for me to spend more time hanging out with my sister and doing something productive. So that's my team up report, and did a little bit of other outreach in this area too. And I think it kind of intersects as well with my job, but indeed it's a big complicated mess, and if anyone wants to help me with the narrative to make it all make sense, we can. Best thing to do in that regard would be for me to stop talking, I'm sure.
So in a nutshell,
Yeah.
Planet Math is an effort to build a digital library of mathematical definitions, terms, concepts.
Okay. So
History.
Planet Math is like, basically just think of it as a website for mathematics. It has all the stuff you just said, but it would be really cool if it was like the go-to place to learn mathematics. So say you were a mathematics teacher and you wanted to run a course, wouldn't it be great if you could go there and get a free textbook? This is one of the things Charlie and I first agreed would be good a long time ago. It isn't that yet, but it's a project about mathematics. This open digital math library would be like for that, and for papers, and for journals, all this kind of stuff online, whatever you could call a digital library. So
Sort of like the Wikipedia of math.
yeah, like a Wikipedia of math, and maybe I could include Wikipedia's math stuff as a subsection. So it's very confusing because it's all distributed out over the internet, a little vague, but yeah, maybe that's enough about that. Yeah, for now.
Well, I'll do your handbook.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if we make a handbook, you can publish it. Well, I still think we could get a bunch of Planet Math things published as well. So, no, Charlie's not showing Planet Math. Yeah. So I think if all this stuff works, maybe my dream of getting Planet Math to function through the power of peeragogy or peeragogy may actually happen. But yeah, the Planet Math needs a bunch more. Yeah, look, there's all this math appearing right there on Charlie's browser. How cool. I don't know if that's good.
So how will this be different from what you might find on Wikipedia? I'm not saying it isn't, but I just wonder.
No, I think Wikipedia well, it's not as good. I mean, a lot of the stuff on Planet Math is just simply not as good as the stuff you find on Wikipedia. It needs a lot of work, and Charlie's kind of showing off some of the...
But it has a potential to be more cohesive and make more sense.
Exactly. So whereas Wikipedia is basically confined to be an encyclopedia forever and ever, Planet Math can be whatever we want. So I want it to become a bunch of textbooks, and at the moment it's a bit confusing. But over time, maybe we can start building a bunch of free mathematics textbooks, or just importing ones that other people have made. There's no real reason not.
Yeah, I want to sit down in like a marathon hangout session with Planet Math people and see if I can figure out what calculus actually is.
Cool. Well, we have actually a calculus book on there that we imported from 1899 or something. It's like an old-fashioned calculus book, but we've imported it into the website, so it's kind of exciting. I don't know if you'll find that way though, because I think it's like hidden. It's a private article, so it shouldn't show up in the search. You'd have to log in as an admin. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of weird things you'll find there. Yeah, we got a bunch of projects to build the collection though, and I think this thing with Jim is just basically focusing on data. So it sort of works. You can see a bunch of math appearing. That's cool. Charlie, do you want to tell us a little bit more about what's going on over there?
Sure.
He's having fun.
I'll do your screen share.
Okay.
Where are you? What's the?
I guess just share we can share updated, and then Shelby, and this was my.
So Kara, to explain this a little bit, we decided after publishing the Peeragogy Handbook version 2 that we needed to have some practical projects and figure out if peeragogy could be applied to actual real-world situations. So Joe's is Planet Math, mine is IPNE, and independent publishing, and Charlie's is this. The uncertainty principle, which I will actually put up the regular page too.
You're gonna go down and click on like a PDF or an HTML of an issue 2. Okay, so for week 2, using the Peeragogy in Action lesson plan, there were a series of questions we were supposed to answer and write about, and then I did that, and so it was helpful because they're good questions, and they kind of force you to drill down to the basics. It's easy when you are doing a project for a long time to get caught up in some other stuff and kind of forget the core tenets or core mission or what have you. So, so it got me to focus on really improving the quality of the writing, and growing my readership base, as well as throwing better events to celebrate, to release the issues, and then rebuild the events, and then also just overall want to keep something uncertain about the whole endeavor, and have that be a very important part of what we're doing, is that it is uncertain, and so that came about through this, and then I came up with a end of 2014 plan that is not too ambitious, which is good.
Now, do you
yeah.
You like this sort of bare bones website look? Is that part of it?
I liked it more when I updated that in 2012, and then I've done, if you go to danov.org on the top left, that's a little more of my recent stuff. still pretty bare bones, but more
Is that you?
fleshed out. It is. But that needs to be updated as well. It's out of date. But yes, no, I like simplicity.
Yeah.
I would like to experiment with like making like an HTML5 responsive thing landing page. But that it doesn't seem like it's that difficult. But I just haven't taken the time to do that. But actually, I gotta run. So I guess so. So that was what I did, and the Joe that the ODLM seems very interesting. Open the Joe Mathematics Library, and it's a nice dovetail for what's been going on at Planet Math. And then IPNE, very cool as always, and very nice to meet you, Kara. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. And
do you think we should consider changing the time so you get more time to spend?
I mean, it's just this is lunch. We have half hour.
It
just kind of is what it is right out.
Yeah.
Should
you have
change
to
for
go
me
in.
in a month, but this has been just such like magic Peeragogy hour. But on Wednesday at 3 p.m. we will have another Hangouts, which anybody is welcome to join. The link will be on the Peeragogy Project Google Plus page very soon.
Cool.
But yeah, we can talk about changing time too if we need to. But.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
See you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, Kara. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Joe.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
so let's see. All right, well, so I think we've got to figure out a little bit what we're up to. So Charlie had this great homework response to the last week's homework, which makes me feel like this week we could up our homework production a little bit.
Yeah, the trick for me was getting right on it after the accelerator. I just wrote it up right then, last Monday, and then I didn't put it off. So
Cool. Well, now you have Kara involved, so maybe this time you guys could do a live. You could do the what's that thing called that we used to do all the time? These
hive editing.
Yeah, live editing.
Hive
editing.
Yeah.
Up to that'd be fun. You have the rest of the summer for your internship?
Yep, until the 18th of August.
Wow. Okay, so about 2 more months, a lot will happen.
And then is being forced to spend the semester in Ireland.
Okay.
Oh, for me.
That's all right. Some people go to Ireland just for fun, but you're going, to spend the semester there. That's serious. So,
I'm going to learn stuff while I'm there.
nice. Yeah, I've been there.
Stuff.
I don't know if I learned too much, but I was only there for 24 hours. So. It's nice. Are you going to Dublin?
Yep.
Yeah, Dublin's nice. They didn't knock down all their old buildings. That's one of the things about it. Let's see. So yeah, business plan. No, not business plan. Week 3 homework. Where'd that go? So yeah, I think some things that are definitely going on. We've got some outreach stuff going on. It may be a bit chaotic. Helpful questions. What resources are available? I've been pretty successful, I think, with the outreach thing. Don't want to get overextended. But we've got some things going on, short term and medium term, and maybe long term. I might work on a grant to extend some of that stuff, as long as it's related to my job, which is the main constraint for me. And you guys have got the rest of the summer to work and collaborate there. That's cool. And I suppose by the end of that, I mean, one thing you mentioned, the kind of issue of getting the IPNE people on board with PeerPubU, and I continue to think IPNE may be just one relevant partner. If you get some, say, 30% of the IPNE people, but you have 3 other groups of the same size, you'll soon have 100%, and the collaboration may make that much more sense because you'll have, many different people collaborating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what will be important is to find a little way the HackPad is good, to document it and keep all the sort of elements that we make progress on percolating and the ideas that we put into place. So keep those documented, and then I think when people see things happening, positive things happening, then it's a good time to kind of introduce them to some of the, I don't know if we really have any technical, we do, I guess we do have some technical aspects, but the more kind of like the patterns and the, you know, the mindful application of peeragogy.
Yeah, I think, yeah, this hackpad is starting to accumulate some reasonable things, I would say. But I was thinking, yes, I mean, I found someone else. I tried to invite them along. I did invite them along to the meeting, but I don't know if I came up with a very convincing invitation. I put a link about it into the Google Plus community, but it's someone at Mozilla who we had mentioned as being interesting to talk to.
Do you want to invite them directly in? If you know their name, you can just click on that little plus.
I mean, I didn't hear back from that person.
Okay.
So, so you know, I might. But let me show you. I'll screen share again. This is a cool thing, showing something that's going on in the vicinity of our neighborhood. Oh, come on. Start screen share. Okay, so here it just says Mozilla Science Lab, bringing researchers and developers together, a call for proposals. Guest post by Bill Mills of TRIUMPH, Canada's National Lab for Nuclear and Particle Physics, where he works in building the UI and web tools for a given thing. And he's interested in kind of co-facilitating something called interdisciplinary programming. And maybe some of the stuff that I'm doing with Jim will get rolled into that. But I thought it was really interesting because it seems like they're trying to build a certain accelerator, even maybe a particle accelerator, I don't know, some kind of accelerator for science stuff. Yeah, so send some stuff by June 27th. I just might be able to get that out the door, but I am at the point, I think, of reaching saturation, and I thought it'd be more interesting to just share ideas with him about strategic stuff. But maybe we're not really ready yet for that. But I do think outlining. I think we should start outlining the handbook version 3. I think that would be a reasonable thing for us to do.
That was one thing I really wanted to get started on. Yep.
So maybe we should make a hackpad that has the outline of that, and then start looking at what might have to change.
I should send Kara home with a Peeragogy handbook.
Yeah, she may come up with many ideas.
She's probably getting sick of the day tripper by now.
Well, this is the Peeragogy, and I love the map idea though. That seems very creative, like using Google Maps as a publication platform. So I'm getting a bit involved with all these things, and you guys have got a lot going on too. Next week is a reflect and see if we're on track week, so we get a little bit of a rest then.
Kara, I wanted to ask you what you thought of like if we put up, use the handbook idea as a IPNE vehicle, or kind of a platform really for getting people to contribute and learn from each other. And we could put up a independent publishing handbook. And I know you have a lot of stuff from Champlain, but
yes,
we can solicit articles from you, from your students, your colleagues, or your
peers,
classmates. And they came down to write articles, and that if we had some articles going and we did a hive editing on them and the peeragogical style, I think then members of the IPNE community would see, they would see what's going on. It'd be kind of like priming a pump or something,
Yeah. Well, people have had these things called book sprints. You probably know about book sprints, where they say, "Let's get together and write a book this weekend."
I know the Twitter ones where they write a book on Twitter.
Wow. So
Kara,
that could
approve?
That could be similar.
Not really.
Not really.
Writing
Not
a book
really,
in
I
a
don't-
weekend on Twitter.
Wanting a book in a weekend on Twitter just, it's, no.
I know. It's just crazy.
Put in the
I mean,
effort
it
and the
is what it
time.
is. Right.
Yeah.
But like we did with the handbook, we had the WordPress site, peeragogy.org, which we do have if you want to get that up, Joe. But so that really was our living book, you know, and like anybody with editorial access could basically go on there and do copy editing, change an article around, do some formatting, and then there were enough eyes kind of rolling along it over time that it really did. Nothing really bad happened when you think about, you know, letting a lot of people have access to a manuscript. You know, it just wouldn't be done in traditional publishing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there aren't that many people, but there's like you, me, Charlie, George. I can't remember who else.
Well, different people came at different times to do different things, I think. But yeah, I think, how would I say? I definitely think it would be interesting to start a few new projects and see if we can replicate the success, because I know Howard tried that. He tried to make an open learning handbook, and he said it probably won't work, and it didn't work, you know, despite the fact that these are people who are interested in the same kinds of things. So I think there's something a bit special about about us, or either about us or the topic or the match between those things.
Well, I think the risk with independent publishers is that they will hyperventilate when they realize that it's public domain. One thing. They don't always like that. Some people are, you know, or they might just accept it. I don't know.
Yeah, I bought this book used a while ago. I haven't read it yet, but it's beautiful. How to Mutate and Take Over the World. And it's got this amazing thin cover and, like, I don't know, 2 colors of ink at least inside, and like everything's really nice production value, amazing layout. You know, each page is like cool. So, and it's a hardcover as well. So, you know, and it's by famous people. Are You Serious and St. Jude and the Internet 21. I haven't read it yet.
Are You Serious? It was worked with Howard on The Well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of these people are from that group. I mean, I don't know if Howard even contributed. I don't think so, but you know, I think if we're gonna, you know, like we invited Mako that one time. He was probably like the biggest superstar we've had on this thing, except Howard. But I don't think we've got a real sense of like a mission, you know. So I really think as much as we've been successful with the handbook version 2, we might want to change it some, but we might want to go in a completely different direction with handbook version 3, or just start another book, the handbook version 2A or something, like going off on a different path. Because I specifically think that this university thing is cool, but we don't have any buy-in at all from anyone about anything. So that's really
I think part of it is clarity of the message, and I think it's a casualty of just the pedagogical process. You don't want to shut people down.
Yeah.
But you know, you want to kind of keep it open and keep the ideas percolating, so that ideas that are viable and get buy-in can coalesce and be successful, or you know, progress. But what was my point? Yeah, I think, you know, there's you know, the handbook provides a unifying you know, thing for us, vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we need to find other people who already share a certain amount of the of the vision. You know, like this ODML thing. It's like Jim and I have been saying the same. We've known each other for like 7 years, and we've been saying the same thing for longer than that. So we definitely look eye to eye, or whatever. We see eye to eye. We see the same kinds of things when we look around as well. I don't know what the metaphor is, but you know. Who else? I mean, Fabrizio sent me a site there in France, and the site was in French, but I picked my way through it, and it seemed like they've been doing this kind of stuff since 2 decades ago. I don't know what the let me see if I can find the site. It's called 42.org, I think. Yeah, no, 42.fr. So.
Right. Well, I think this is a good start. I wish there were more of the projects represented here, but
yeah,
I'm happy to do it in the evening or early morning. If Charlie could do it in the early morning, I think he would be valuable to have on here.
Yeah, I mean, he's been consistently running these Wednesday things, but I don't know who else is going, and I don't make it every time. It seems a bit scattered even for people who've been in participating. But anyway, here they're saying transforming enterprise with the creation of whatever, I don't know, employment of individuals, and discover the School of Informatics entirely free and peer-to-peer. So this is something Fabrizio found. So maybe we should ask Helen or what's his name, to help us out. What is his name? The Canadian version. Anyway, yeah, my French is pretty bad, but well, actually, Madeline speaks French too. So, yeah, entirely free and peer-to-peer. So if we could say to them, "Hey, we're interested in this, and you could be the computer science department," then it would be an interesting outreach thing. Or is there something that we could get by connecting? And especially across the language barrier. Yeah. So let's see. I think we should try. Maybe that could be something we could continue on, as we haven't really done the outreach at the Peeragogy level. So
yeah, I mean,
we've done it at the individual project level.
For the accelerator, I think if the people that are involved need to kind of start a few days before the accelerator. I mean, this is like basic social media marketing stuff. Start a few days before the accelerator. Make sure that there's an event page up, that you tweet it, that you look around on the Google Plus communities or anywhere else for people that are talking about these issues, and say, come to the accelerator and help us define or build this collaborative organization.
Great on the individual projects, but I think that the intersection or overlaps are not. But yeah, if we could find a couple people and invite them as special guests, and then we could tweet that. You could tweet whatever that this.
Yeah, start a dialogue. I mean, Howard's out there tweeting. A few people are out. Joe Raimondo and John Graves are tweeting. And I see Peeragogy mentioned. I have a Hootsuite that lists and mentions for, and it's pretty regular.
Yeah. Well, so maybe we can. I mean, maybe we could invite, for example, this guy. This is the leader, I think, of the 42.fr website. We could invite Michelle Bowens back again too. He may have a little bit more time now that the insanity of that thing has stopped.
Yeah, he said that to give him a couple months on it, but I think that's about now. So should we wrap it up, and then we'll just maybe start a little earlier, trying to get people assembled for.
Yeah. Well, let's create a few more for week 3, which actually is now. We've done a good kind of warm up for week 3, inviting different people for our individual projects. So maybe what we should do is focus on considering those questions from the point of view of the Peeragogy project for this week's homework. So, so structure, working on the handbook, inviting people, promoting it, all that kinds of stuff would be totally relevant. If we get all of that spelled out this week, it's good.
For next week, you mean, or?
Yeah, for next week. Kind of redo what we did this last week, but focusing it from the peeragogy point of view. And I even have a link here, which I'll put week 3 homework. Yeah. Yeah, this one. So we can work there, week 3 homework, or slightly create a different one, week 3 homework.
Is that week 3 homework or week 4 homework?
No, it's week 3. That's where we are now. I think I put it out there a bit early, so we got a big head start on it last week.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And maybe didn't do enough reflection. But again, yeah, next week is our reflection exercise week.
All right.
So I think we're more or less on track, just slightly chaotic. So yeah. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, and sounds good. I'm glad you got the energy of Kara there from the safe room, calling
the bunker.
The bunker. Yep.
All right. Thanks for everyone. If you're watching, we are coming back next week, Monday at 1 o'clock. I believe we'll stay with that time. So.
But there's another one on Wednesday at 3. That's right. If the 1 o'clock is bad on Mondays, try Wednesday at 3 and see if that improves.
Okay, and that's US Eastern time. Or is it Central time for Wednesday?
Nope, Eastern at 9 o'clock.
Eastern. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll see you then. Monday.
Okay,
bye.
Bye, Charlotte.